Good morning, Year 5, and I hope you're ready for your maths lesson this morning. In school, we'll be having a look at lesson 2. So here is the do now. I'd like to have a little go at it. So it says complete the partially filled number lines with 5-digit multiples of 100, 1000, or 10,000. So if you have a little look at the number lines, you will notice that the 5-digit numbers are increasing, or they might be decreasing the other way. If you look at number 2 there, you can see that you've got to fill in the blanks that come before the numbers that are stated. So if you have a look at number 1, it says 32,400, 32,500, and 32,600. Do we think it's increasing? Do we think the number line is decreasing? If it's increasing, is it increasing in 100? Is it increasing by 1,000? Or is it increasing by 10,000? Have a little go at that now and pause the video. Okay, Year 5, so moving on to the independent task. It says, use the table below to record the final numbers for each round of the place value battle and the target you are aiming for. During the independent task, rearrange the digits in your numbers and write statements to compare how the numbers have changed. So, with somebody at home, could be a parent, could be a sibling, it could be a nan, could be a granddad, I would like you to make some number cards. So they range from 0 to 9, so you should have about 10, well, exactly 10 in total. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to place the cards face down on the table, you're going to shuffle them up, and then you're going to draw a card each. So if it was me, first one up, I would have the number 5. Now, my job is to try and make the greatest number I possibly can. And as you're playing with your partner, they are going to try and make a greater number than you to beat you. Now, I've drawn 5. Now, I know the highest number I could have drawn was 9, and the highest place value amount will be the 10,000s. So realistically, I want to put this 5 maybe in the hundreds, maybe in the tens, and hopefully later on I will draw an 8 or a 9 to put in that area. Once you've had a go at making the greatest number, have a go at making the smallest number, and then have a go at selecting a 5-digit number that you want to try and hit, so a target number. Okay, see how you get on with that. Good morning, and it's time for lesson 3 of our maths. So this morning, if you have a little look at the do now, it says, what numbers do each of the arrows point to? Give reasons for your choices. Okay, so if we take the very first arrow that sits between 2,000 and 3,000 on our number line, we can see that straight away when we look at our number line, it starts at 0 and it doesn't really give us an end number. The very final number that we see is 9,000, and if we count up in our number line, it goes 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So we can see that the number line is increasing by 1,000 each time. And each of those large segments of the number line are our jumps of 1,000. So looking at the first blue arrow, it lies between the 2,000 mark and the 3,000 mark, and it's right in the middle. So we can say, actually, that arrow is pointing to 2,500. Pause the video now and have a go at the other 2 arrows and estimate the position of the numbers that are shown below. Okay, then moving on to the independent task, and you will see that the number 43,000 has been positioned on a number line multiple times. Look at the position and decide on possible values for the start and end of your number line. Now, these can't just be random numbers plucked from your head. So if we have a look at the first one, 43,000 is positioned towards the back end of the number line, the very end of the number line. And we can see that the 43,000 mark is 3 small segments away from the previous large segment of the number line. So I could say the previous large segment of the number line was 40,000, and that each large segment increases or decreases by 10,000. So with that in mind, I could say that my number line starts at 0 and ends at 50,000 because there are 5 large segments and each large segment increases by 10,000 each time. That's also my explanation. See if you can have a go at the rest. Pause the video now. And now we're on to the chili challenge for today's lesson. So Tommy says he can order the following numbers by only looking at the first 3 digits. Is Tommy correct or is Tommy incorrect? Explain your answer in as much detail as possible. Now remember, just a little hint, when we order numbers, we always look at the highest value first. So in this case, it's a 5-digit number, so I'm going to look in the 10,000s column. Now if I look at the 10,000s column in each number, they all have 10,000, so I can't really compare the numbers just using one. If we then move on to the second highest value, which in this case would be the thousands column, and so on. Using that hint, pause the video and have a little go at today's chili challenge. Okay, year 5, it's lesson 4, it's Wednesday morning, and similar to Monday, we have got a series of number lines for you to have a little look at really quickly, some of which are increasing or decreasing by 100, 1,000 or 10,000. I'd like you to have a little go, use Mondays to help you out a little bit at completing those number lines. Pause the video now and have a go. For the independent task today, we're looking again at multiples of 100, 1,000 and 10,000, and you've got on the screen in front of you, you've got 2 of your questions that you're going to be answering today. So the first question says 5,462 people went to the velodrome. Now what I would like you to do is have a look at the number 5,462, and I want you to decide what multiples of 100 that number, if it was on a number line, would sit between. Okay, so we've got 5,400, 5,500, 5,600, or if you go one less than the previous numbers, 5,300. Once you've decided, you can have a go at filling in the table. So at the top there, you can see that you've got what multiples of 100, you've got a less than and a greater than sign. So what is the multiple of 100 that is less than 5,462, but closest to it? And what is the multiple of 100 that is greater than 5,462, but the closest multiple to it? When you've done that, on the right hand side, you can see that the number is written there in digits, and then it's got these little funny squiggly lines. That means that the number rounds up or down to which multiple of 100, and I would like you to fill that in there. Complete the rest of the table and have a go at questions 2 and 3 on the worksheet. Pause the video. Let's see how we get on. Okay, year 5, so we're now up to the chili challenge for today. So you've obviously completed the independent task. I would like you to make sure that for both questions below, you explain both of your answers fully. Good morning, year 5. If you take a little look at your do now for lesson 5, we are recognising the value of ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000 and now 100,000 in 6-digit whole numbers. So similar to lesson 1, which you should have completed last week if you were in school or if you were at home, I would like you to flick back to lesson 1 or think back to lesson 1 and have a go at completing the do now. So it's pretty similar. So the number is actually displayed within the place value chart, and for number 1 it says the number is, and I would like you to write that as we would speak it. So you're not going to put the digit form down, it's going to be actually the written form. Then it says the digit 3 has a value of, so if we have a look in the place value chart, I can see that the 10,000s, we've got 30,000, sorry, and for the thousands we've got 4. For hundreds we need a place value, we need a placeholder there because we've got 0, and for tens we've got 2, and ones we have 1. So the digit 3 has a value of 30,000. The digit represents 1. Have a little look on the place value chart, which number do you think it is, and have a go at completing the rest. Now that you've completed the do now, the independent task is pretty similar, only this time instead of focusing on 5-digit numbers, we're now looking at 6-digit numbers, and we have the introduction of the 100,000s column to make it our 6-digit number. Complete the independent task by using what you already know. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so once you've completed the independent task, here's the chili challenge for today. It says read the following numbers. Oh, sorry, no, not read the following numbers. Round the following numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. So that's looking back at what we were doing yesterday. So you've got 3 numbers there to round up or down. And then we move on to Oscar says the number 345,050 is 345,005. Can you explain why he is wrong? Have a little go at that and make sure you're explaining the answer or the reason for your answer as best you can. Good morning, Year 5. I'd like you to have a little look at the do now and have a little go at it. It's rounding numbers to the nearest 100, 1000 and 10,000. So pause the video and have a little go at that. Moving on to the independent task, just like we did on Monday, we are going to be using our digit cards from 0 to 9 to have a go at the place value battle game again. Now, if you notice this time, it's a 6-digit number, so we are including the 100,000 column. Have a go with a partner at home, maybe a sibling or a parent, and see if you can make the greatest number, the smallest number, or a target number. And then this time, I would like you to have a look at the 3 numbers that you've produced and see if you notice any digits that are the same. So for instance, I could have a 6 in the thousands column on my first number, and then I could have a 6 in the 10,000s column in my second number. And I would like to have a conversation with your parent or a sibling at home and tell me how the value of that digit has changed. So for instance, this time, if my 6 in the thousands and now it was in my 10,000s, the digit has increased by 10. Well, the digit has increased 10 times. Have a little go at that and have a go at spotting some of the changes that have happened. Pause the video. Okay, moving on to the chili challenge, I'd like to have a little go at that independently and see how we get on. It's Friday. We're nearly there again. We're nearly at the weekend. We've just got one more math lesson to go before we can sort of relax for the weekend. So looking at the do now, it's pretty similar to one that you completed earlier in the week. So have a little think about what numbers do the arrows point to. Again, thinking about what I've said previously, flick back to previous slides if you need to. Have a look at what the number line is increasing in each time in the large segments before you start to think about what each of the arrows could be pointing to, and then estimate the position of the following numbers. Pause the video and have a little go at that. And again, the independent task for today is pretty similar to one that we completed, I think it was Monday. So look at the position of the number 430,000, decide on possible values for the start and finish of your number line. So again, I will be looking at where that is positioned, what each of my large segments could be in relation to the number that's there, and estimating or even working backwards and working forwards, not actually estimating, to find out what could be the start of my number line and what could be the end of my number line. Now remember, again, there's probably multiple answers for this, but it's up to you to make sure that you explain your reasoning behind your answer. So So if you put 0 at the front of the number line and 500,000 at the end, explain the reason why. What is each large segment increasing in each time? If you put 400,000 at the start of the number line and 500,000 at the end, what's the reasoning behind that? Have a little go and pause the video. And finally, have a go at the chili challenge. Again, it is a rounding question, just to make sure that we are 100% with rounding. It says, what is 6,352 rounded to the nearest 100? Now, mistake A, the person said it was the answer is 400. B, the person said it's 6,350. And C, the person has said it's 6,300. For each mistake, I would like you to give a full reason why. So, for instance, mistake A, the person said it's 400. Well, we know this can't be possible because that's nowhere near the number. The number 6,352 is nowhere near 400, and we need to make sure that we're still using a 4-digit number even when rounding to the nearest 100. Pause the video and have a go.